Mom? Hey, where did you go? Right now, Dad is looking all over for you.
Huh? Is this you, Ed? Are you using your dad's phone again to try and text me?
Well, Mom, I don't have a phone of my own to text you from, so I had to take his.
And a boy in 5th grade doesn't need to have a smartphone at his age, right?
I know that, but Dad told me that when I needed to talk with someone else in the family while they are out, I could use his phone and text. Also, Dad had a small accident with his hand, right? And so he can't use his hand to text you right now.
Yeah. I knew that man was going to care more about you than anyone else. But if he really wants to spoil someone, he's better off doing that with my daughter, who looks just like me, since she is definitely the better looking one of you two.
You're talking about Avery, right?
Yes, that's right. You already know that I'm in love with all things that are both cute and beautiful. And that's why I'm only in love with your cute older sister, Avery.
Mom?
Just a second ago, you had asked me where I am right now, right? Well, I'm at the airport right now.
The airport?
I'm going to be taking your sister to France with me, and she's going to become a supermodel with the help of her mom.
She's going to become a supermodel in France?
I'm going to take her to Paris with me, and we'll find her a modeling agency who will take great care of her. And you are far too ugly to be a kid of my own, so I won't be needing you anymore. Well, you only ever ended up as a kid of mine because your dad brought you along with him in the marriage, so I don't even have to call you a part of my family anymore. So please don't think anything bad of this, okay?
Dad is asking, have you filed out any divorce paperwork yet?
Tell him that the paperwork is sitting on the coffee table in the living room.
All right. Well, then that's fine with me, is what he said.
Huh?
Well, Dad just said that about you a second ago, but I feel the same way about you as well now. Have fun in France, Mom. Bye-bye.
Hello, Ed? This is your phone number, right, Ed?
And who am I speaking to right now?
This is your mom, Andrea.
What?
I've heard about how you've been doing so well for yourself, Ed. So now you can look up to me as your mom since I was able to get you to this point, and I can feel good about myself again as well.
I'm sorry to say this, but I don't believe I'm speaking with my mom right now.
Well, it has been 10 years since we last met, and I'm sure my number is different from the one I had back in those days. But look, I'm your mom. And if you're wondering how I got your number, I was able to get it from your aunt. Your aunt was kind enough to tell me that you're getting into the showbiz yourself there, huh? And that you'll be going into Hollywood for your debut, right?
That freaking dog. She's really gone and done it now.
Hey, come on now. You should not be speaking about your aunt in that manner, okay? It's because of her that I'm finally able to talk to you again, and you can finally speak with your mother once more. I bet you're so happy to finally hear from your mom again after 10 long years of waiting, right?
But I already told you, this is not my mom's number that I'm currently speaking to. Also know that she has only one phone and she's never told me nor anyone else that she has another. So tell me, what the hell do you want?
Come on, Ed. You don't have to give me such a cold shoulder. I know it's been a long time since you've heard from me, but you should still know how to talk to your own mother, right?
Look, can you quit it with all that BS?
Huh?
Are you kidding me? Can you not tell by the way I'm talking to you right now that I don't see you as my mother anymore and that I never want to again?
Huh?
You and that girl of yours, both Dad and I don't care about you guys. And all you do is bring back our bad memories by talking to me again. So go the hell away. And never try texting or calling me again.
Ed! This drama that I'm watching right now, I can tell just by looking at your face that you're the one playing the rival to the main character, right? I saw your name in the opening credits, and that face of yours is the same as when you were back in 5th grade. I totally get it now. Back in the day, you were a bit of an ugly duckling, but now that you've grown into a young adult, I have to say that you are one handsome-looking gentleman. Amazing. So you really are my son after all.
Ugh. You're texting me again?
Hey! Do you really think that's the right way to talk to your own mother? It's not. So you'd better start talking to me in a polite manner from now on.
You're not my mom. And that is why I'm talking to you like the annoyance you really are.
All right already, all right. I get it that it's because of me that you've become this amazing little actor. It's because of all that wishing and praying that I did to have a child of mine turn into an actor that you've become such an amazing person, right?
Seriously?
And compared to you, your older sister Avery, well, let's just say she's not doing as great.
What's happened to Avery?
Well, her and I are coming back to the States soon.
Weren't you and her trying your hardest to get her to become a supermodel or something?
Well, that did never really turn into anything more than just a dream. I thought for sure that since she's a natural beauty, she'd be able to make it in one of those agencies over there, but of course, those French have a different idea of who's beautiful or not. So in the end, any agency we went to never gave her a chance to model, and any private work she tried never ended up being scouted. And what's worse is after failure, she began to eat a lot more bread and stuff to fight the stress. And let's just say she's gained a few pounds. Really, she's no longer a beauty whatsoever, but rather the definition of an obese person. Seriously, I cannot use her at all now. But this is why, to me, you were the perfect son any mother could ever ask for. My prayers were finally heard, and you turned into the most handsome-looking young man imaginable.
Well, I didn't get this far because of you.
Huh?
The only reason I've become an actor is because I wanted to become one, so I put in the effort to get to where I am now. To tell you the truth, it's supposed to be the manager's job to be here with me to help me diet and make sure I stay up to date on roles, right? Well, you haven't been here for me these past 10 years, nor have you ever been my manager, so screw you.
Huh?
Also, people don't just make it in a modeling or acting business by looking good.
Ed!
You have to be able to act as well, whether it's on stage or in the studio. And you have to be able to work to become the character you want to be, which takes weeks to perfect.
Wait a minute.
So you have no right coming to me acting as though you've put any work or care into me? Therefore, please, for God's sake, just leave me the hell alone so that you don't cause me any headaches anymore. Seriously, stop talking to me. I'm not messing around right now.
Seriously, Ed? Don't you think you're going a little too far with all this after having blocked your own mother's number now?
Are you kidding me?
I had my phone number changed so that I could get in touch with you again.
I told you already, stop trying to get in touch with me anymore.
Oh my. Well, why would I ever want to stop talking to my son? Are you really sure you want me to stay away from you even longer than I already have? I plan to become your manager soon so that you can become even more famous.
What?
You don't have to try and keep me at bay anymore. I promise that I'll do everything in my power to make sure you get as many roles as you'd like. And if you're worried about me having any experience, just know that I've been the manager for Avery for the past 10 years, and I did a wonderful job at it.
By wonderful, do you mean you failed her on multiple occasions, and that's why you're back?
Huh?
As from what you've told me, you didn't take Avery anywhere as her manager, and only led her to becoming fat and sad about her life. You told me that yourself the last time we chatted about her.
Well, that was something else. It had nothing to do with me as her manager, rather do with her way of thinking. She didn't have the drive she needed to become a supermodel, and that's why things didn't work out for her. But you're different. I know that with my help, I can take you to the top.
Well, I'm already on my way there.
Huh?
My manager happens to be one of the most well-known in the Hollywood world, and she also happens to be my mom.
Your mom? Ah, right. So this is your way of saying that you want me to be your manager, right? Understood, Eddie. I'll make sure to make you huge in Hollywood, and make sure that you and I never have to worry about falling out of the spotlight ever again.
Wrong. I'm talking about how I already have a manager and mother, and she's not you.
What? What do you mean by that?
My dad happened to get remarried about 8 years ago.
Huh?
And not only did Dad end up getting remarried, but he did so with a woman who he ended up having a baby girl with, and she has the most beautiful face and figure. But, unlike you, she's not the kind of person to only care about those that are attractive looking, and is willing to love everyone in her family very much. And so because of her warmth, I've been able to forget about the cold past that I had with you as my mother, and can now live a new life as a successful man.
That man, he got remarried to a new woman? And not just that, but had a girl with her?
And that's why I've been saying that you're not my mother this whole time. It's been 10 years since you left Dad and I, so I have zero clue why you're back here now trying to talk to me like you ever cared about my family. But if you really think that you have any chance of getting back into this family as my dad's wife, then you're strictly mistaken, as there's zero chance of that happening now.
What?
That's what I thought.
I have no other choice right now. 10 years ago, my dad, who was a very wealthy person, passed away. And of course, after his death, I received a lot of that money in his will from him. And when that money came to me, I thought it would be the perfect chance for me to get my daughter to become a famous model. And that's why I took her with me to France and started to make her model.
I see. So that's what Dad was explaining to me about after you left us?
During the first year, I was never able to land her any modeling gigs, and so I just thought that was a part of the industry. And since she didn't have a name for herself yet, I decided it would be better for the two of us to start conforming to life there first before getting into modeling. But then it was 2 years, and then 3 years, and time just kept on going without us ever seeing any real work come for us. And during that time, Avery graduated from an international high school there. That was the moment I thought she'd really put all her time into modeling, without the need to study, but I was wrong. But then I started to really have a closer look at her, and it appeared to me she already gave up. And the food there had gotten the best of her. She was no longer the beautiful young woman I pictured her as, rather a model for some weight loss ad. And it wasn't just that. I noticed that a lot of the money from my father had dwindled away, and so I had to make the choice to bring us back to the U.S.
What?
The house that your sister and I had been planning on living in is no longer there for us. And so right now, we don't have a place to go home to.
Right. Currently, your mom is in an elderly home, spending the last couple of years of her life being cared for by the nurses there.
What?
I heard from her that she used the money left over by her husband and the money from the house when she sold it to get into a really nice home where there are all sorts of amenities for her.
You're kidding. So that means there really is no place for us to go?
And that's not all, actually. You ended up taking your daughter away with you to another country, even though she never really wanted to. And while there, you used up not only your own money that you received from your late dad, but also the money that was supposed to be left for her. There were apparently a few other people that were supposed to get the money from your late father, who never did because of you.
What are you talking about? Where is my mom right now?
I have no clue where she chose to go, besides that it's good for her.
What?
So far, everything I've been telling you has been okay to tell you, as the other parties involved don't seem to mind you knowing. But even if I did know more about your mom, I wouldn't tell you, as she never gave me the permission to.
Hold on a second. If you're not going to tell us where she is, how are Avery and I going to live?
Think about that one yourself, Andrea.
Huh?
Ah, there's another thing. As for that aunt of mine that ended up causing you to learn about my current situation in the first place, the whole family has stopped talking to her. So if you're trying to go for her for more information regarding me, you won't learn anything more than you already know.
Huh?
Now, I have to get ready to head into the studio for another session of takes, so I'll be going now.
Huh? Wait a second, Ed.
I'm blocking you again.
Right now I'm stuck in a cheap motel with Avery, and we don't have much money left to keep us here. When it's all gone, we'll have to move into the streets. Hey, I'm only asking you this one time to please give me a place to live, just for a little bit. Ed!
There was one last thing that I never ended up explaining to Andrea, and it all had to do with the information that was left over regarding her late father's money and assets, and who they all went to. On that sheet of paper, she could probably take a closer look at it and learn where her mother ran off to, had she just taken the time to do so. Of course, Andrea or Avery could still think of that as an option and take a look for themselves, but I was never gonna recommend that to her, as I just don't care about either of them. So whatever happens next with those three will be left unknown to me. And a couple days later, Andrea and Avery both appeared to have figured out where I was currently working in Hollywood and came to find me. But of course I told security of this, and they made sure to stay on the lookout for these two. And when they were spotted around the studio, security called the police, who then came and grabbed the two of them, where they later found some information on distant relatives of them who they ended up calling to come get them. And within a day, a black minivan pulled up outside the police station to pick those two up, and then they were gone for good. My dad later called me to tell me that distant relative was Andrea's younger sister, who ended up taking those two into her company to work for her, day and night, for the rest of their lives. It was such a relief to learn that Andrea and Avery could no longer touch any of us anymore, and ever since then, I've been able to live in peace. Thank you so much for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Clayton, I'm sorry to say this, but I'm going to have to work late again today. Do you think you can make your own dinner tonight for yourself?
What, again with this?
Really, I do feel bad having to stay late over and over again recently. But right now, the company and my department specifically is working on a project for a new item, and we only have 1 month left to finish it. Once this last month is over, I'll be able to calm down a bit, and should be able to take more time off.
So that's so. And I guess I'll be going out and getting some filet mignon for myself.
Really?
And of course, since you're the one coming up with excuses to not make me dinner every night, I'll be paying for the meat with your credit card. Shouldn't be a problem for you though, right? I mean, if you're working that much overtime, then you should be making loads of money.
I get that, but I'm getting back to work now.
Filet mignon. Filet mignon.
Hey, Clayton. Recently, you've been in your office all day. Are you still making sure to get your work done in there?
Huh? What's with that kind of question? You starting to doubt me now?
Well, you are working remotely now, but you've been in your office for a few days now, and I've never seen you come out, so I'm unsure what you're actually doing in there.
You saw that I'm getting paid still, right?
You showed me that bank statement over 4 months ago.
Showing you once should be more than enough to get you to believe me, right? I'm a very busy man when it comes to the heavy workloads I have to complete. I really do not want to keep sitting here listening to you ask unnecessary questions all day when I need to get back to work. Please stop talking to me while I'm working.
All right. But if you have something I need to talk with you about, then at least answer my texts.
No,
Huh? What the heck, Clayton?
I need to get back to work.
Erica, long time no see. Are you able to talk right now? What? If it isn't my old friend Jenna! How's it going? Well, I'm doing all right, but does this mean that you're back in town? That's right, but just for a little while. I've come back into town looking for some new locations to help expand the company that I started around 3 years ago. I have a main office right now, but I'd like to start opening up offices closer to some of my more distant customers in the hopes of bringing in even more. But anyway, since I'm all the way back in my hometown, I thought I should at least make some time to go out to eat with you or something so that we can catch up again. So what do you think about getting something after work to eat together? Ugh, I'm sorry. Right now, I'm terribly busy with a project at work. If it's this Sunday, then I'll have time to see you. But I don't want to take away any of your time if you're supposed to be out looking for new places to expand to. This Sunday, huh? Okay. Oh, so that's okay with you then? Yep, that's perfectly fine with my schedule. I am my own boss after all, so I can do whatever I want without having to be worried about not getting my work done. LOL. Thank you so much for doing that for me, Jenna. Sorry that you caught me at a pretty busy time, though. You don't have to worry about that. I had assumed that you'd only have time on the weekends anyway, and was really only asking if you had time after work just to confirm that. And when we meet, I have something I'd like to talk to you about. What's that? It's not something I can convey very well to you over the phone or anything. So it's... I'll just say that there are some good things to it, and some bad things as well. And they impact more than just the two of us. Okay. I understand, I think. Now, once I've found us a place to eat on Sunday, I'll give you a text. Do you have any place that you'd recommend we go? Seafood? Noodles? A cafe? Whatever place you choose for us to go to will be fine with me. Okay. I'll search for a place tomorrow and let you know. I'm thinking something light, so hopefully a place with lots of salad options. All right. Thank you, Jenna. Clayton, I have a friend from back in college coming into town for work, and her and I are going out to eat together today. So I'll be out of the house for a little while. I won't be back until probably a bit after lunch, so can you make sure to make yourself something for lunch before I come back? And if you haven't noticed already, I made breakfast for the two of us, and I'll be putting your half into the fridge for you to warm up if you want it. Okay? I know that you're in your room right now and are too busy to reply to me. But I can see that you've read these texts, so I'm going to assume that means you've understood what I told you. If you don't, then tell me that now before I leave the house. I won't be able to do anything for you once I'm gone, okay? I'm heading out in about 5 minutes. Jenna, thank you so much for meeting to eat lunch today. And of course, tell me all those things. Erica, and thank you so much for allowing me to talk with you about all of that. I'm sure that all came as a massive surprise to you, right? But it was really nice for myself to finally get it all out there to you and not have to hold it down any longer. It was a surprise, but I'm happy that you feel a bit more relieved. I was already surprised by the fact that the company that my husband's been working for is actually the company that you're running. But the fact that he's been trying to make advances on you through the company's communication app is a bit... And not just you either, but other employees there as well. Well, let's just say that I'm not okay with that and can understand a lot more things now within my own home. I just wish he could have told me that he was no longer interested in me or something, so that I didn't have to waste any more of my time. It helps that you've understood everything I've said. Of course. I would never have a hard time understanding these things, but I just wish that I could have known sooner. However, now that I'm aware of what he's been up to, I'm a bit worried he'll continue to cause issues within your company. I don't want him to continue to try and talk with you like that, especially on the company's app. That's totally unacceptable. So I'm going to talk with him about this, and if that doesn't work, then I guess we'll be able to make a conclusive decision. All right. I just hope that all of this will end once you speak to him. Just be aware, though, that this has already put him on the chopping block, so don't expect that he'll keep his job, even if he does own up to what he's done. Yeah. I hope to get this all handled for us soon. The only problem is that I'm using a lot of my time and mental space to work on a project for my job, and so I don't have time to really think about my husband enough. You don't have to get too worked up just yet. I plan to tell you all of this before I really have to step in and manage him. So once your work has settled down a bit, think about all of this and let me know what we should do. And remember that you can come to me if things about him don't change, and I'll be willing to have you work for me and stay here. Understood. Thank you, Jenna. Clayton, it's time for you to get off of your computer for a second and come talk to me. I have some things to talk with you about right now.
Shut up. Stop knocking on my door. I cannot focus on my job like this.
First off, stop using only capital letters. I'm not in the mood to be yelled at by you or anyone, okay? And second, I have something very important that needs to be talked about. And so I'd like to talk about it in person.
Shut up. Stop talking to me. It's because you keep trying to talk to me that all my dang focus is ruined now.
You've been locked up in that office so much recently that I've begun to forget what you look like. And when I try to open the door just a little to talk with you, there's no answer. You left part of your shelf in front of it so that I can't get the door open all the way anymore, and it's ridiculous! And if you have things in there, like work documents or things you don't want me to see, then just come out here and talk with me. I really don't have the patience anymore for this, okay? I've even been trying to call you so that I can hear your voice, and yet you never answer me. So that's the reason I have to text you all the time now. Even when I have something really important that you need to hear about.
Unless I'm gonna talk to you first, you shut the hell up.
You want me to stay quiet until you come and talk to me? Then what should I do about the things that I want to talk to you about?
Deal with all of them yourself.
But these are things that affect the both of us once a decision is made. I'm not kidding when I say that this topic is about more than just some shallow decision. It'll decide what happens with us from here on, and that includes our marriage.
Whatever you want to talk to me about isn't that important, Erica. I have work to do, and I'm a busy man. You can manage that all by yourself. Stop trying to take my attention away from my own work.
Fine. So I guess I'll be the one to make a decision all by myself then, without your input?
Shut the hell up. Just shut it. Until I talk to you, shut the freaking hell up. Stop making me say it over and over.
All right. Jenna, sorry for keeping you waiting on the update. After what you told me about the things regarding my husband, I've tried looking into some things and I've come back with an answer for what to do about him and the choice I'll make. Oh, so you finally made a decision. Yep. I think that I'd be willing to join your company and move out of this place for good. Perfect! I found myself another great employee. But by doing that, what will we do with your husband? I'm aware that he's working remotely for me now, and thinks that he'll continue to be. Well, I guess, what did he say when you spoke to him about what all's been going on? He didn't say a thing, actually. Huh? Well, actually, there's something more to that. For a very long time now, he's been locking himself in his office, and never even answers to me when I try to talk to him. And he'll read all my texts that I've sent him, but never actually respond. And even after meeting with you for lunch, he's been the same way. I knew that all of this couldn't just be something that I could make a decision on, and so I wanted to get his side of the story and what he thought. But when I went and knocked on his door saying we had something important to discuss, he yelled at me a bunch and told me to shut up. I even told him that this was something important that would affect the both of us. But he only responded by saying it couldn't be that important and that he's too busy for me. And then he ended things by saying that it's fine for me to make a decision on all this by myself. And that he didn't want me talking to him unless he spoke to me first. What? Really, I haven't even seen his face in such a long time now. And when I'm at work, he'll leave the office to shower and eat food and live a normal life. This all pretty much shows me that he no longer wants anything to do with me, and really has been trying to live his own life, with whoever he's talking to in your company. Even you. I really don't like saying this, but Jenna, I haven't slept with him for a month now, and it all makes sense why. I get now why he's locked himself in that room, and it's pretty much because he no longer loves me. Dang. I suspected that when he started to talk to me and a few others here about non-business related stuff. But I guess this means it's all too late for him now. And listen, ever since that day he yelled at me like that, he's never even spoken to me or sent me a single text. And as he said, I guess I'll have to be the one to decide on everything by myself now. Understood. So tomorrow, I'll be telling the company I'm currently employed with that I'm leaving, and then I'll come to your company. And actually, I've already spoken with my boss, and he said that within 2 weeks, I'll be able to leave and head over to you. Really? That's perfect. Well, I'll get started myself then on preparing for your arrival. I'll get you an office of your own and everything here, and I'll train you myself. Wait. You'll probably want a company house for yourself as well, right? You can do that for me, though? That would be wonderful. Well, I want to make sure you're away from your husband once you come here, and I'm sure it's tough having to pay full price for a new place to live, so consider your new place of residence found.
Hey, Erica. Yo, what the hell is up with this divorce paperwork? Just when I started wondering why you've been so quiet recently, I walked by the room and all of your things are gone and the place pretty much empty. What? There's a letter underneath the divorce paper. Took a glance at the letter you wrote me. Been out of this house for over 3 days now. Just a second ago I gave your work a call, and they're telling me you left the company days ago as well. What the frick? What's this about the company I work for, CEO, being that friend you told me about from college? And she started telling you about how I started to talk with other co-workers and leaders at work through the company's communication app about private things? I never knew any of this was going on behind my back. And also, when I was talking to her through that communication app, she made herself out to be so cute and young to me. But now I can see that she's a 40-year-old grandma that I've been talking with. If you'd known that I was talking to her on there, then you should have told me sooner that she's old. Erica. Hey. I'm finally talking to you now, so you can reply to me. I told you that it's alright to talk only when I talk first, right? I have a lot of important things to talk with you about, so reply to me now. Come on. Right now, I don't have a job to go to anymore. And I won't be able to pay the rent for a place like this. And now you're wanting a divorce. The reason I hadn't wanted you to see me all day or to talk to me was because I didn't want you knowing that I was talking to other women while I should have been working. And I didn't want you knowing that I was already at risk of losing my job. If you come back to me and forget the divorce, I'll talk to you again. And I'll begin looking for another job right away. Erica.
After having to sit there and look at all his annoying messages, I was finally able to see what had been going on with him. At this point, I can really see just how horrible of a man Clayton has been. I left him the business card to my lawyer at the house, and so if he has anything else he needs to say before the divorce, he can call them and talk it out. But because of how swiftly I got out of that place unnoticed, I was able to get a divorce from him with no speed bumps. And on his end, he ran crying back to his parents who live out in the countryside, saying he quit his job and lost his wife. But of course, as his mom greeted him at the front door and tried to calm all his crying down, his dad pulled the car out of the garage and put Clayton in it with him. He then drove him a ways out into the woods, where he set his son up with a new job, working for the foresting company out there. What Clayton never realized is that I already told his parents the truth about what he'd done, and so this was their plan to get him back on the correct path. Hearing that it all went to plan while I'm no longer around, I feel so warm inside. It's great to see that he'll never have an office to hide in again now, and that he'll never be able to try and get with any of the women from his work, because he'll be surrounded by other men working in a humid forest hauling wood all day. As for myself, though, I've started working my new job under my friend's supervision in her company. She said before, she's trying to expand the company. Or, in the next couple of months, once my training is done, she's going to have me become the manager of a new location opening up, and will make sure I'm paid more than what I was getting at my previous job. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.